Welcome to the...
Here I am, as a representative of Group 2, will explain how to pronounce consonant sound to fulfill the final semester assignment. Here we go.
The pronunciation P. Before a set, vowel P is strongly aspirated as with pet, but after this sound, its aspiration is less strong, as with speak. In the final position, P is unaspirated and heard clearly as with keep. Before high E, the sound P is not palatalized as with pig. Double P in the middle of a word are pronounced as a single sound as with pepper. At interface between words or a part of word, double P are pronounced with a prolonged complete closure and with pollution occurring only in the second sound, as in lamppost. The pronunciation B. The English B is sounds by closing the lips against each other like, while the tongue rests on the lower jaw at the beginning and at the end of words. It is partially voiced. Initially, the sound starts as voiceless and as a voice, whereas finally the voice ends. The voice ends as voiceless sound. Complete the phrasing of mildly tonational errors. Double BB in the middle or at the end of a word are pronounced as a single sound, as with pebble. At interface between word or part of word, double BB are pronounced with a prolonged complete closure and with pollution occurring only in the second sound, as in Quebec.
And how to pronounce consonant sound D, K, and G. First, D. Tips. To produce this sound, the tip of your tongue should touch your tooth ridge to stop air. Then move your tongue away from the tooth ridge to release air. The sound is produced with a voice from the throat. Example, ladder. It helps to have ladder when changing light bulbs. Ode. They both enjoy wearing odd costumes. Day. Today is a beautiful day. Last, hide. He's hiding a rose behind his back. Like that. Second, key. Tips. To produce this sound, the back of your tongue should touch the top of your mouth to stop air. Then, move the back of your tongue away from the second, K. Tips. To produce this sound, the back of your tongue should touch to the top of your mouth to stop air. Then, move the back of your tongue away from the top of your mouth to release air. You don't produce this sound using your throat. Example, lucky. That's a really lucky shorts. Lucky. Okay. Sick. I've been sick with a cold the past few days. I've been sick with I've been sick with a cold the past few days. Okay. Um like like I think she likes him. I think she likes him. Okay. And last clock. Clock. My alarm clock is really loud. My alarm clock is really loud. Okay, third G. Tips to produce this sound, the back of your tongue should touch the top of your mouth to stop air. Then, move the back of your tongue away from the top of your mouth to release air. You produce this sound using your throat. Example, mm, dialogue, dialogue, dialogue. My mother and I maintain an open dialogue. Dialogue. Next, egg, egg. I went to the shop to buy some eggs. I went to the shop to buy some eggs. Okay. Next, green, green. Mm, she has beautiful green eyes. She has beautiful green eyes. Okay, let's again, again. I'm happy to see you again. I'm happy to see you again, again. Okay.
Pronunciation F. The pronunciation F is called an unvoiced sound, which means don't use your vocal cords. How to the pronunciation F is the place in the upper teeth beat your lip like this. Then blow air through your teeth like this, and then the upper lip kept out of the way and the tongue rests on the lower jaw like this. So the pronunciation F is F, F, F. For example, in these words, the pronunciation F is left, for, after, family, stove, wife, and knife. Pronunciation V. The pronunciation V is called a voice sound, which means that you abuse your vocal cords. How to make the pronunciation V is the upper teeth are pressed against the lower lip like this. Then vibrate your vocal cords and the send air through your teeth like this. Or the pronunciation V is it should make a buzzing sound like a B, like this. So the pronunciation V is V. For example, the pronunciation V in these words is love, live, cave, wave, and save. Pronunciation is symbol theta. Pronunciation is symbol theta. It is called a voiceless dental fricative. The pronunciation the place in the tongue and teeth, and it is a fricative. To make the pronunciation, it is the tongue placed between the upper and the lower teeth like this, or the tongue placed against the back of the upper teeth like this. For example, in these words, the pronunciation are tam, throw, author, healthy, and thin.
The pronunciation of the sound th is almost the same as the pronunciation of th. The difference is this one is unvoiced, but this one is voiced, like thin and then. Then, thin is it's unvoiced without vibration, and then it's voiced with vibration. The way to pronounce it is first the tongue behind the upper teeth. The second, the sound comes out of the throat. The third, the tongue vibrates. For example, dad, father, then, mother, and cloth. Next, the pronunciation of S. In general, the sound of S in English is read as in Indonesian, like letters or surat, and one or satu. S. The way to pronounce of S is SS, like S. For example, sing, see, and sound. If the letter S attached to English words ends in a voiceless consonant that includes the sound P, T, K, and F, then the letter S attached to the words ending in the voiceless consonant sound you pronounce with the sound S, like gaps, bats, wakes, and talks.
The English Z is the voice consonant corresponding to the voiceless hints is chosen in the same way, but Z differs from S in that is from with less force and is made shorter. Before the sound Z is not palatalized palatalized as with zigzag. At the beginning and at the end of words, it is portability voice initially the sound starts as for false and ends as a voice wireless friendly. The voice ends as a vowel sound. Complete the voicing of may lead to national errors. Double Z in the middle of a word and in final possessions are pronounced as a single sound as with diesel. Pronounce it with zip zap zis zip presidium tens rose iz is nizi the best tense pens. Read the words paying attention to the spelling form of the z. Read the consonant parts of words with a voicels as and avoids. 5. Read the soon. 2 are 6. 3. The lead talk. 4. Where to ear. 5. The 6 are 7 in. 8. The up late in November. L. The English sound is pursued by raising the font of the touch towards the top of the moon behind the upper teeth. The portality block the flow of air from the lungs. The teeth are brought close together.
Symbol J. The English sound is articulated like is but with voice and with a weaker air pressure. At the beginning and at the end of word is partially voices. Initially the sound start as voiceless and end as a voiced, whereas finally the voiced ends as a voiceless sound. 1. Pronoun with slightly protruding lips. Example: Aiza, Meiza, Leiza, Pleiza, Treza, says, close, casual, visual, vision, division, decision, mirage, gyrage. 2. Read the words, paying attention to the spelling form of the z. 3. Read the 1 D is. 2. Who is making D? 3. They saw, they saw, they saw. 4. Folks lead to car coup. 5. Are taken to prevent X. 6. Oh, I read the island with. Island with. Symbol H. The English H is an open throat voiceless sound with no voice equivalent. In producing it, we make no use of the palate, tongue, teeth, or lips. It is a mere breath sound. It is much softer than similar sound in many other languages. The English H is found only at the beginning and in the middle of word, as with no behind, before a. The sound H is not palatalized, as with he, between a voice and consonant and a vowel or between vowels. H may be partially voiced, as with inhibit. 1. Read contrast pairs. Produce a soft H. 2. Read. Do not fatalize H before I, a, hide, heal, him, hit, and another word. 3. Read the words with H. 4. Read the is, cute, is, are, sus, there are, on, the, many people, the, vote for, always with the, will go over.
M. When the sound M is formed, the lips are close against each other, and the air passes out through the nose, not through the mouth. Before the sound M is not palatalized, as with min. The sound M is relatively long, but at the end of words, especially after a short vowel, and before a pause, M is longer than in any other position. The final M does not end abruptly, but it becomes weaker gradually, as with name. Double M in the middle of a word are pronounced as a single sound, as with Heimer. At interface between word or parts of words, we find two clearly audible sounds pronounced together with a prolonged complete closure, as with roommate. For example, me, meal, min, middle, miss, mystic, mess, man, met, make, mine, marry, mate, farm, beam, sim, and each other. And in sound the English, the tip of the tongue touches the upper gums. The air from the lungs passes out through the nose, and voice is produced before the sound and is not palatalized, as with new at the end of a word, especially after a short vowel, and before a pause, N is made longer. It does not end abruptly, but becomes weaker gradually, as with fun, double N, in the middle and at the end of a word are pronounced as a single sound, as with dinner. At interface between word of part of word or part of word, we find two clearly audible sounds pronounced together with a prolonged complete closure, as with pen name. For example, and it's need, knit, kneel, knit, nick, neck, name, knife, nike, ninety, night, knife, nace, new, min, sin, pin, in, pen, man, dine.
Symbol N. The English sound N is found only in the middle and at the end of words, as with link or brink. In its sounding, the back of things touch the roof of the mouth. The air from the lungs goes out through the nose, and voice is processed between vowels and must not be followed by G, or as with singer. When final, it must not be followed by sound, as with long. Symbol L. There are actually two kinds of L in English. One has a brighter, clearer sound, and is found only before vowels, or as with leg, and in tell you. The another has a darker, heavier sound and is only used before all the other consonants, or finally, as with field, and tool. In both cases, the point of the tongue touches the upper gums, with air passing out on both sides of the tongue.
Consonant R. The consonant R is a voiced consonant, which is a consonant marked by the vibration of the vocal cords when pronouncing the consonant. To check it can be by holding the neck and pronounce the consonant R like R, R, R. The R sound is made by pulling up the tongue up and bending the tip of the tongue slightly back toward the roof of the mouth and pulling the lips slightly forward like. So if you want to do R sounds, then do like R, 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 R. In the pronunciation of this consonant, the mouth parts will be close each other, but never really touch. For example, in the word rise, rise, rise. Sounds R will be pronounced thick if it comes after a voiced consonant, as in the words bright, 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 and dry, 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 and becomes light or thin if it comes after a voiceless consonant, as in the words try, try, and pride, pride, pride. And if the sounds R is located at the beginning and before the vowel sounds E and then it is not fake, but as unreal. For example, in the word rage, rage, rage. As for words that have a double R, they are pronounced with a single sound like mirror, mirror, mirror. So, in the words, just like have one R in the word. Here are some examples of words that have sounds R in them, like rose, 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 rule, rule, roll, car, car, car. Consonant W. The sound W is also a voice consonant, which is a sound that has vibration on the vocal cords like W, 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 and is an English semivowel. To make the W sounds, close your lips like and then round them, and there's a small hole as if you are going to whistle, like. Leave your tongue and point it behind your mouth and hold it for a few seconds, then open and then release. Like W, 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 and then release or articulate it into the next vowel sounds or that is located after it. For example, in the word way, 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 and water, 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 water. The sounds will not be fake if it is located before the sounds E, A, and as in the words wrench and west. The sounds W shall not be pronounced clearly as when pronouncing W in Indonesian, as previously explained.
The pronunciation of w must be moved or joined immediately after releasing the lips, as in the word wine, 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 which is read as wine, 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 not wine, 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 and wait, 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 which is read wait, 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 not wait, wait, wait. In this section, sometimes the letter U is also read with the sounds W. This will happen if the letter U at the beginning or in the middle of a word is followed by another vowel sound. For example, as in the word quick and the question. The letter U in the two words are read with the sound W instead of the sound U. Quick reads with quick, not quick. Read with quick, not quick. Quick, not quick. And question with question. Question with question. No question. No question. No question. Question, no question.
The English semi-vowel J is similar in pronunciation to the vowel and it's from the beginning of word or syllables, as with yes or yes, mute or muse. It is produced with the tongue raised high and toward the front of the mouth, then the tongue immediately glides away from the position of the following sounds. The position of the lips differs on a following vowel. They are spread in yield or yield and slightly rounded in yod or ju. The sound may be devoiced after a voiceless consonant, as with bu or bu or bu. The consonant before J are not palatal, as with chun or jun. Read the word with the sound or ju, paying attention to their spelling forms. Do not palatalize the precedings, like the of and h is. The English vowel I is relatively long and tense. The tip of the tongue touch the lower teeth. They are two phases in the articulation of this sound. Initially, the central part of the tongue is relatively low and reacted as for the sound whose description is even below. Then it glides forward and to higher position near of the roof of the mouth. The lips are spread and tense as if you are going to brush the teeth. The length of the sound I is variable depending on its position in word and sentence. It is shorter. The glide is negligible into syllable and polysyllabic word, as well as before a voiceless consonant, especially in the middle of word, as with it or eat, treatment or treatment. It sounds even shorter when unstressed in final position. As with baby, like baby.
The English sound is relatively short. The tip of the tongue touches the lower teeth, but the tongue is lower, retract, and more relaxed as compared to the lips are slightly spread or neutral. The length of is a variable depending on its position in words and sentence. The shortest is found in two syllable and polysyllabic words as well as before a voiceless consonant, as with beat, sister. The sound is length before a voiced consonant, especially a sonorant as with heel. Some words are generally pronounced with a flower vowel. The word big or final as in the big grain of his big. His. Yes, it is. The consonants before are never palatalized, as with did. Learners of English often confuse the sound and I, which may lead to notional errors. Read and make the sound I shorter before voiceless. Is, in, ill, if, it, did, still, pit, bit, big, pin, fit, lead. Read the words showing the difference between the sound I and I distinctly. 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 Read the contrast parts with the sound I and I. Make them shorter before voiceless. Read the contrast parts with the sound I and I. Make them shorter before voiceless. Read using a shorter I before voiceless consonant and in two syllables. Read the words paying attention to the spelling forms of the I. Next. The English E is a short sound. It is produced with the tongue moved forward and its tip at the base of the lower teeth. The tongue is denser than for the lips are spread. The length of E is variable depending on its position in words and sentence. The shortest E is found in two syllable and polysyllabic words as well as before a voiceless consonant, as with mess, pillow. The sound is length before a voiced consonant, especially a sonorant, as with sun. Some words are generally pronounced with a longer vowel, bed, did, yes. The consonant before E are never palatalized, as with get. Read, as, f, n, ten, pen, man, bed, set, def, net, met. Read the words using a shorter E before voiceless. As, of, an, ten, pen, man, bed, set, def, net, met. Read the contrast parts with the sound I and E. Make them shorter before voiceless. As, f, and ten, pen, man, bed, set, def, net, met. Read using a shorter sound E before voiceless consonant and into syllable. Read the words paying attention to spelling forms of the E. Em, is, if, and, ten, pen, man, bed, set, def, net, met.
R. The English R is long and tense. In sounding, the tip of the tongue is retracted from the lower teeth. The tongue is held very low down in the mouth and as far back as possible. Only the back of the tongue is slightly raised to the top of the mouth. The mouth is wide open. The lips are naturally open. R. The sound is made shorter in two syllable and polysyllabic word, as well as before a voiceless consonant, as with duck, duck, garden, garden. And it is slated before a voiced sound, especially a sonorant, or finally, as with var. A. The English A is a tense half-long sound. In pronouncing, the jaw is lowered and the mouth is wide open. A. The tip of the tongue touches the lower teeth. The front of the tongue is pushed forward and up. The lips are open neutrally. The sound A is longer than the other short vowels. It is lengthened even more in some words, e.g. bed, b-a-d, said, c-a-d, man, m-a-n, big, b-a-g, jam, j-a-m. It is shorter only before a voiceless consonant, as with fat, fat. The sound can be accurate by trying to imitate the crying sound made by a cat, meow, 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 or the basing of the sheep, be, be, be. The consonants before A are never platilized as with gap, gap. Learners of English often confuse the sound A and which may lead to national errors.
The sound is C. The English is short. In sounding, the back of the tongue is the highest part, but the tongue itself is a slow down and as far back as possible. The tip of the tongue is retracted from the lower teeth and pressed down. The mouth is wide open, the lips are circularly round, but not protruded. In pronouncing the English, the learner start to feel a kind of explosion taking place in the mouth and pushing the jaw sharply down. The sound is cyclically sorted into syllable and polysyllabic words, as well as before a voiceless consonant, as with clock, clock, problem, problem. Before a voiced consonant, especially a sonorant, and at the end of a purpose, the sound is lengthened, even in quick speech, as with long, long, or in who is severed off. The sound must not be replaced by the sound O. Since this may lead to national error. Attention to spelling forms of the sound. Number 1 is an, is an, is an. And number 2 was, was. Number 3 is, is. Number 4 his, his. Number 5 a. And 6 of this. And 7 the height. And 8 is an. And last to see. Sound O. The English O is a long tense sound. In producing, the tongue is big and low, though not quick, so low as for the short. The tip of the tongue is slightly retracted from the lower teeth. The lips are tense and loosely rounded, but not protruded. The length of O is variable depending on its position in word and sentence, in two-syllable and polysyllabic word, as well as before a voiceless consonant. The sound O is made shorter, as with short, inverted. When final before a vowel are followed by a voiced consonant, especially a sound, the sound O is lengthened, as with form pop, or in let's go for a walk. Okay. The spelling. One. Once. Attention to the spelling from the sound O. Number one. Once. Once. Number two is a terrible. And three, this not answer. And four, the. And five, the B. And six, in misters in the. And seven, the going is on a trip to. They is going on a trip. And seven and eight, in the read the bite. And nine, the last, today will add a two.
Now I will explain about R. The most usual English sound R is made by raising the tip of the tongue towards the back part of the teeth ridge, forming in this way a fairly wide passage for a stream of air from the lungs. The tongue is tense, the lips are protruded after a voiceless consonant in the same syllable. R is partially voiced, as with the three before I and E. The sound R is not petalized, as with rich, and it is pronounced together with a preceding consonant, as with break, price, great, grace, cream. Double R in the middle of word are pronounced as a single sound, as with mirror. So consonant only before a vowel sound at the beginning or in the middle of a word, as with rose, free. The word final linking R is found before the next word or the next syllable beginning with a vowel. Compare the a father. The first exception, when a final is preceded by only the first is pronounced in rare animals. The second exception, when a pause between the two words is permissible, no linking is inserted in the pronunciation. He the door, I and the house. The other example is read, very, and then dream, grace, great, and then my street. Okay, the next about the W. The English semivowel is a voice sound which is produced by closely rounding the lips and keeping the tongue high and towards the back of the mouth, thus forming a small opening for air escape. The positions of the tongue and lips are held for a split second and instantly change for the articulation of the following vowel. The sound is used only before vowels at the beginning and middle of words, as with wool, well, before I, E, and AE. The sound W is not petilized, as with we. The sound must not be replaced by or to pronounce W correctly. The learner should push forward the closely round lips and immediately move to another vowel. The example is we, week, wave, whole, hone, weeks, who.
This vowel sound is a symbol like the letter E backward in Indonesian letter, and this vowel sound is stressed as label, and then how to pronounce is the tip of the tongue is put into the low teeth, and the body of the tongue is flat, and the lips are spread. Okay, like this. Eh, eh, eh. Okay, for the example in the word is surname, 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 surname. Dirt, 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 dirt. Per, per, per. This vowel sign is a symbol like the letter A, but there is not line in the middle, and this vowel sign is like we say the letter A in Indonesian. And then how to pronounce, the mouth half open and the tip of the tongue is put into the lower teeth, and the back of the tongue is slight rise like this. A, a, a. Okay, for the example in the word is cut, cut, cut. Up, up, up. Nut, nut, nut.
To discuss application of the symbolic of sound of the vowel letters and A, let's look at the following story. The sound of vowel letters Michael at Harvard University. Michael is a student at Harvard University of the United States, majoring in accounting. He enjoys reading books on accounting, body anatomy, and history books. He lives in America alone in a small house he rented. Around the house there are many churches on which there is a cross as a sacred sign of Christians. Vocal E. The pronunciation is similar to the sound in the word now. Sundanese people vary over pronunciation the sound such as the word didier, kia, which is often used in the word which prefaces a word. The example in the story above is like the word a student, accounting, alone, small, around, across, a secret. 2. The sound of vowel letters A. Let's look at the following story. Bali. Today is the red date which coincides with the birthday of Pancasila. Andy and his uncle vacation in Bali. He pray and work in Bali even though the weather was a bit rainy. In the rain, he took shelter in the cake shop, and then he was bought a cake by his uncle who has paid for in dollars. For example, the example of the word in the story above: today, birthday, rain, cake, paid.
The next consonant is I. In producing the core A of the English diphthong, the opening between the jaws is wider than for the sound. The tongue is flat and pushed slightly forward. The tongue tip touching the lower teeth. Then the tongue glides up and slightly forward in the direction of not actually reaching its position. Hence, the second element of the diphthong remains weak and unclear, so that the diphthong is audible like I, rather than the lips change from neutral to loosely spread. The two elements are uttered as a single sound without onset and with stronger stress on the first element. The first element of the diphthong must not be replaced by the length of the diphthong is variable depending on its position in word and sentence. It is a short before a voiceless consonant, as with like, and is slightly longer before a voice consonant, especially a sonorant, as with fine. The longs is used in a stressed final syllable, especially before a pause, as in goodbye. The consonant before are never palatalized, as with kite. And then my angel. And next, oi. The core of the English diphthong begins about halfway between the English sound and oi, with open lip rounding. Then the tongue moves up and forward towards, but does not reach its high position. The lips change to neutral. The diphthong is uttered as a single sound without onset and with stronger stress on the first element. The diphthong is never short, even before a voiceless consonant, as with moist. Another example is toy. I have a toy.
Sounds O and OW. Beforehand, let's know first how to pronounce the words O and OW. Let's go. And for example of vowel sounds O and OW in this story. Number 1. Proud mouse. I am so proud of my house, said the little mouse. Inside I have a couch and a round table. I have a TV with great sounds. Outside of my house I have a garden. My garden is ready to sprout. I am so proud of my little house, shouted the mouse. And number 2 in the letter from Laura to Paul. Dear Paul, I wanted to remind you that tomorrow is the launch of the book The Haunted House by the author Alex Whitehook. He told me that he has been working on the book since August. It took him such a long time because he was exhausted after his last book tour. At the launch, since it is autumn time, we went for an orange, red, and brown theme. There will be drinks, hot dogs, and burgers with sauce. After the food, Alex will read a section from the book. I really hope that the audience give Alex a hug applause. Maybe some people might want his autograph too. Looking forward to seeing you, Laura.
The starting point of the English diphthong is about the tip of tongue touch the lower front teeth. The opening between the jaws is rather wide. The lips are slightly spread. From this position, the tongue glides back towards the two elements are uttered as a single sound, without onset and with stronger stress on the first element. The diphthong is shorter into syllable and polysyllabic words, as well as before a voiceless consonant, as with ska or plane. It is slightly longer before a voiced consonant, especially a sonorant, as with Mary. The longest is found in a stressed final syllable, as in he is not there. The consonants before are not palatalized as with care. The diphthong must not be replaced by a or e, since they may lead to national errors. The example: e, here; d, be; t, care; where, there; parents. And air, and her is glasses. The is a mile. How large is? Text of the have been read in they shall. The sounds you. The core of the English diphthong is the short from this position. The tongue glides forward and down towards. The lips are weakly rounded. The two elements are uttered as a single sound, without onset and with stronger stress on the first element. The diphthong is shorter into syllable and polysyllabic words, as well as before a voiceless consonant. As with tourism, it is slightly longer in a stressed final syllable, as in I am not sure. The diphthong is often preceded by the sound, as with pure. The example are: he's got boots. He's the Jesus is. The was instructed as 5. Thomas was born in Dublin. They.
Pronunciation a, e, and a, o, belongs to the triphthongs, which are a monosyllabic speech sounds sequence perceived as being made up of 3 different vowel qualities, involving a quick but smooth movement of the articulator from one vowel quality to another that passes over a third. As simple as triphthongs, these are 3 single vowel sounds that are pronounced together as a single unit. Here we can see 2 examples. First one, a, e, I. For example, if word has IRE and YRE in the middle or at the end, if take FIRE and YRE, here FIRE and YRE sounds like fire. The same way HRE, so say higher. Don't say fire, say fire. Don't say higher, say higher. And second one, hour. If word has OUR or OWER or OWAR in the middle or at the end, OUR, OWER, and OWAR sounds like power. The same way shower. POWER, power. Don't say power, say power. Don't say shower, say shower. shower, shower. Thank you for attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Don't forget to like